Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to IRC Season 7 Tier 2 of F1 2021. Tonight is a very exciting night as we've come down to the final round of the championship, round 10, as we head to the hot desert track of the Sakir circuit. The Bahrain Grand Prix rolls by. My name is H. Cinders of Fury. Welcome, and I also joined in the commentary box by Motomoto and harryrox. How are you guys doing?
Hello, HCL, and yep, it is the finale, and it's shaping up to be an insanely exciting prospect. I honestly can't wait. The circuit is also brilliant, so it's just the perfect formula for an exciting race.
Exactly. And obviously, the championship in Tier 2, as well as all the other tiers, Tier 2020 as well, has been so close this year, or this season, I should say. It's just a narrow margin in terms of points at the top. We have Paris, Solo, and Banat all separated by just 8 points at the top of the championship. It really is looking to be an exciting race. But speaking of exciting race, let's have a look at some of the best moments from past seasons at Bahrain. So Bahrain, one of my personal favorite circuits, 5.4 kilometers, 15 turns, lots of overtaking zones with three major DRS zones to improve racing in recent years. 15 corners, as I just mentioned, lot of scope in the past for a great race, not only in real life but also in terms of esports as well. We see Monk mounting an overtake on harryrox down the inside of turn 1. That's going to be a crucial overtaking point, but we'll also see a number of cutbacks and switchbacks happening here. Turn 4 as well, we'll see some overtaking action. Again, we see the Alfa Romeo of Monk as he gets squeezed out into it. It was almost 3 wide there going into the turn, so another great overtaking opportunity. And this is turn 8, I believe, coming into sector 2. Another great overtake there from Monish Banger on a McLaren. And the final penultimate corner is also going to see a number of moves. Great opportunity to go down the inside, but you do have to be careful of the DRS on the next straight. Alright then, a lap of Bahrain rounding the final corner. We start off the Sakir circuit standard layout, which doesn't use the outer loop circuit. Lap times somewhere around the 1 minute 26-27 region. Coming down to turn 1, braking at the 100-meter marker, turning in, wheels lock up slightly. Got to take a little wider line into turn 2 just to open up the corner. Try not to eat too much of the curb on the inside. Turn 3, a fairly mundane corner, DRS. Coming down to turn 4, take as much of the track as you can on the left-hand side. Don't touch the inside curb and try not to run wide on the exit. Turns 5 and 6, a quick slalom of corners. Turn 7, all taken pretty much almost flat out. Turn 8, get the car rotated. Turn 9, a fast left-hander leading down to a complicated braking zone of turn 10. Easy to lock the inside front wheel here as we open up the DRS. Now for the back straight, another overtaking opportunity here going down into turn 11, braking just between the 150 boards, hook the car in, try to use all the track and move the car immediately over to the left hand side for turn 12. A fast right-hander before turn 13, drop down a couple of gears, little tap on the brakes, open up the corner as much as possible, and we head down the final little section of track before we head down to the final corner, braking just below the green board, hook the car in once again, try not to run wide, easy to invalidate here, and that is a lap of the Sakir circuit. Yep, that was a lap around Bahrain by Kaushik Tumala in the Aston Martin, and I don't think that's going to be the representative pace that was pre-patch. So we might be seeing 126s, low 127s, high 126s, maybe even the low 126, the occasional low 126 as well. But yeah, Moto, what are your thoughts going into this championship deciding race?
Yeah, absolutely. Like nerves are going to be high, very high amongst the top three drivers on the standings right now. I think Solo, Paras, and Banat. And I think the correct order, I think, if I'm not wrong, is Paras is on top right now with Solo behind by 1 point, and then Banat, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, so nerves will be high, but it's important for the drivers to keep a cool head. Like we saw Max Verstappen keep a cool head in the entire race. In Abu Dhabi, it was all Hamilton's race to win, and until a miracle appeared, and that's what Max needed. So it's important for the drivers to stay calm and suss out their moves and not get too throttle happy either. And it's a circuit where you have plenty of traction zones. Turn one, turn two, it's all very low speed. So you a bit of a score, extra strong squirt of the throttle, and that's it. It's game over. So it's the tires are going to play an important role on tonight's race, in my opinion.
Let me just cut you off there. Dan, I think the game's not getting captured. It's a black screen.
Yeah, I think Bahrain in the past has definitely been one of those races that always one of those tracks that always conjures up a great race. You have so much scope for overtaking, etc. As we're just heading into the qualifying session here, it's going to be crucial. And I think this is also one of those tracks on the F1 games where I think you can. It's a bit of a benefit really to run some of the assists. There's a lot of heavy braking zones, a lot of complex corners. So maybe running a little bit of traction control, maybe running some ABS might actually benefit the drivers running assists as opposed to running without.
Yeah, absolutely. And in my opinion, like I think this track is one of the hardest corners on the calendar in turn 10, if I'm not wrong, which is a slightly downhill left-hander, as we finally have the game visible to us. And yeah, it's a slightly downhill left-hander, which when you're braking and turning in at the same time, I think the Alpine is just going through that turn right now. And you're braking and turning at the same time, so it's extremely easy to lock your rears and your front if you're too not too precise with the braking. So yeah, you're right. Some assists would definitely help the drivers over here, but we have a very talented grid, and I'm pretty sure the top three are running no assists, if I'm not wrong. But yeah,
I think Paras is the one, or Solo. One of them is running like one of those hybrid setups. Now we were discussing in Australia. He's running one of the uh, not hybrid setup. I would say the an interesting
oh
control.
yeah, it was a phone, a gyro meter with like a
Paras.
phone, if I'm not
Yes,
wrong.
it was Paras, as Harry
And
mentioned.
speaking of Paras, we are seeing him on his lap, and I think he missed his apex into turn one, but keeps it going, gets a clean exit, getting all the way to the left hand side for turn four, which is another incredibly hard braking zone because it is off camber and the apex is extremely bumpy. So you need to balance the car with the throttle and exit. So yeah, this track, it seems very simple if you have a look at just the layout, but when you actually get to drive it with the subtle elevation changes, it's actually a very challenging circuit to get right.
Indeed, and it's also a visual spectacle for us as well, being in night race. So we see all these cars under the lights. I think night races have their own special appeal in terms of within the F1 community. I think they're definitely the prettiest races, and I think it's a photographer's, I think, heaven really to get pictures in such
Oh
conditions.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think all the night races so far in F1 have been absolutely brilliant, apart from Singapore 2017, which was cancelled, unfortunately. But yeah, less said about that, the better. But yeah, Paras is on his way to finish his lap. He's in sector three, which is, in my opinion, the best sector on the circuit because you have, it's really satisfying to nail the power down, especially through that penultimate corner. And it's a 27.6, which is decent for a banker, but we will see those times drop down very rapidly as the track does ramp up.
Yep, track evolution is going to be a massive factor here as well as we see an almost full grid, nearly 17 cars. I think we'll be seeing a couple more joining a little later in the qualifying session as well. So nice to see the tier 2 grid in full attendance. Couple of reserve drivers in there as well, but you can't always expect everyone to turn up. As we see Shrev just filtering through sector 2 here. This is also a very crucial sector because you're banking on the car's mechanical grip through here, and especially if you're behind another car, you're relying on mechanical grip more than aero grip because of that dirty air. That's what the next year's regulations aim to change. But we are still in the current regulations. So following a car through that entire section there, especially during qualifying, is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, absolutely. And wow, so Electrip is a driver who hasn't raced in a while, and it seems he's already found pace. He's P2 with a 27.6. But apart from that, one thing to note is, interestingly, Bunnuts has opted for this medium tires as of now. because which is not strange rather, because it's the medium hard is probably the best strategy on the circuit, which is extremely what should I say, it's a very abrasive circuit, and you have those traction zones, so the tire wear is like an integral part of the race.
Indeed, and all those medium and high-speed corners won't help that in sector 2. So, yeah, medium, soft, medium, hard, medium, hard. Yeah. So we might also see the odd soft hard strategy as well as a very outside chance, but we might see it. But yeah, interesting. All these guys have gone on the soft tire, obviously, with the intent on starting on the soft tire, but I don't think that will be the case. I think
Yeah, you would really need a, what do you call it, a tire whisperer if you want to do the soft hard, because I think it's next to impossible to do it. It's fine, but to keep pace as well and keep it on track, which is hard enough on the new tires as well. But yeah, soft hard is going to be extremely chaotic and very on the edge by the end of the two stints.
So as it currently stands in qualifying, Paras in P3, Solo in P6, Banath in P7, Banath obviously on the medium tires. A lot of drivers going on to a new set of soft tires as well. Aaron Gavin currently on his outlap on a brand new set of softs, having set a lap previously on an existing set of softs. It's important to not go through too many sets of tires during qualifying. I think we did see Red Bull also having that issue during the most recent Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, where they used an extra set of softs, I believe, to get into or to get Max on pole. So
Yeah, I think it was in Q2 because Max had locked up his medium tires and they didn't want to start on that set, as it would, defeat the purpose of starting on the mediums if it's already worn, flat spotted. So I think they had to go for the softs, and in turn, Max couldn't extend his stint on the first stint. So yeah, that's a good point.
and also with the finale of the championship coming down to this final round, as Jags takes a very interesting pit entry there. I think it's going to be crucial also to prepare for the safety car. I think there is going to be elbows out racing amongst the three front runners in the championship, but I think each of them come from different teams, so we might see some team orders in there as well. We might see the likes of Electric and Monk and maybe Freeman as well getting involved in that battle for the championship. So if that's the case, then the safety car is definitely on the cards, in which case preserving some tire sets for that safety car restart might be well.
Absolutely. Ooh, as the Ferrari has gone for a little spinala there out of turn 2, which is, as we both
Thankfully, he
mentioned,
didn't
one
go
of the
the other
hardest
way.
traction zones. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. He thankfully didn't go the other way towards the infamous Grosjean corner as other purpose.
Yeah, that. Well, it was the Mace Spin corner, I guess.
Yeah, it was massive spin. That meme has aged
5 seconds into his debut, isn't it?
You can't write it. You really can't write it.
You really
Anyways,
can't.
we see
But
Solo on his second fast lap on the new setup, or rather, I should say, the first fast lap on a new set of tires. He already has set a bank lap of 128.2, but that is definitely off the pace. I think that is about a second or 9/10 off the pace currently. So definitely some time to make up. We saw a lot of locking up going into turn 1 there. I think it's inevitable just to encounter some locking up anyway as you come through the complicated turn 10 braking zone. Handled it very well there as we come
a lovely
past.
line through there.
Yep, indeed. As we come past the sector 2 timing line, we might get an idea of how far up or how far down he is. He has improved on his personal best in sector 1, but no purple sector for him. As he comes past the sector 2 timing line, is he up? Is he purple? He's up on his own personal time,
And well, the map shows he's purple, but I'm not sure about that. But yeah, it seems like a pretty clean lap so far. And as he approaches the last corner, you do not want to be hitting that inside curve, as it really unsettles the car. But it's a clean lap so far, and let's see where it gets him. Only
lap.
P5.
It has moved him a little further up the grid, but not far enough to really make a dent. We see the likes of Rambo, Abhi, and Electric still occupying those top 3 spots. Paras currently the closest of the championship contenders to that front row. Bunnett quite far down, but now has opted for the soft tires. This will be his first lap on the softs, and he has set a purple middle sector, so it's going to be crucial to get the final corner right. Doesn't clip the inside, keeps it well within track limits on the outside as well. This should be a good lap for him as he comes across the line, and it's P2, a front row currently for Bunnett as the qualifying standings stand, for lack of a better word. And yes, the man has put himself into a very comfortable position as Paris comes across the line as well and puts himself on provisional pole, a 127.2.
Yeah, crucially, while you were commentating, I saw that pop up, and yeah, Paras crucially has put himself in P2, and they both done the same amount of laps. So, what's the Abi on the Red Bull is finding heaps of time from what we can see. He set 2 purple sectors in the first and the second. As he's approaching the last one, it's a 27-0 by 2 tenths.
Absolutely mega lap there from the Red Bull driver, currently sitting P6 in the championship. Definitely not in a position to clinch the title today, but he could upset the big boys a little bit, get in their way, maybe cause a little bit of nuisance for them. He's definitely not the likes of Carlos Sainz. He said he just wanted to stay out the way and let them have their battle. Not okay, he didn't explicitly say that, but I mean, you could see the intention. Nobody would have wanted to get in between those two boys in this most recent Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in their life. But less about that, more about this as we head into the final 5 minutes of qualifying.
Yeah, we can't seem to not keep bringing it up. It was such a dramatic finale. But yeah, anyways, that's your grid as of now, and it seems Solo has some work to do.
Yeah, definitely a little bit off the pace, about 5 tenths off the likes of Banat and Faras, but also a massive 7 tenths of the current time of Abhi, which is 127.022. So definitely some time on the board there for him. I don't think he had a very clean first sector. So he has work to do, as you said, but I can count on him. I can count on him to put in a good performance during quali and really set himself up for a strong chance in the race. As we see Meerkat initiate, I believe Meerkat initiate has a couple of drivers actually have a qualifying ban. So I think we can, yeah, Yash has qualifying. I don't think he's even in the race today. So it should.
Yash is Lal's, aka Lal's, the driver who's in P17 now. He's retired already because of a qualifying.
Thank you for that.
Also, Dan, if you don't mind, can you pull up the telemetry, the one which shows the gears and the acceleration input, the braking input? Yeah, thank you.
Yep. And what's interesting to note here is Electrip, who's been away from the game for so long, is beating his teammate, who is a championship contender. So great effort by Electrip there. I mean, that's without any practice, from what I'm assuming, and he's just a 10th off in Sector 1, but without barely any practice, he's up there, and it seems his racing experience is keeping him up there. And he just misses his apex by country mile.
I think he has been doing some short qualifying sessions as his practice against the AI. I think that is the only thing I think that's the only practice that he's gotten for this weekend. But yeah, Electrip is a real veteran to the F1 game, very active on the F1 game, more so than other games like ACC, etc. So yeah, I can definitely see him troubling those top 5. Does he have what it takes to put it on pole? Only time can tell, but as it currently stands, he's in P7, but he was briefly up in P2 just behind Abhi. So if he can match Abhi's pace, maybe there's potential there for a pole position, or at least a front row. As he does lock out the front row. And I hadn't even finished saying the statement.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he has more time to find, but I don't think he has enough time to set another lap in. He missed his apex in turn 10, I believe, by a lot. So I think he has a couple of tenths just in that corner specifically. But yeah, a great lap by the McLaren driver.
Yep, only a 10th off Abhi as well. I think, Dan, if we can switch to the gap between the drivers in terms
Yeah,
of time.
that would be perfect, actually.
Thank you very much. Yep. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, tier 2 again showing that there's not really a large rift between the top 10, 15 drivers. I mean, some of them are quite a bit off the pace. You see Mountain Wolf, Raftar, and Tarang all 3 seconds off the pace. But generally, the guys who have been regularly attending the races and regularly partaking in the championships, only about 7, 6, 7 tenths off the pace. Which if you have one bad corner, that's 4, 5 tenths right there. So it's very close in the top five.
Yep, absolutely. And what's interesting to note is that you actually want to put in your lap with keeping sector 3 in mind, which is one of the most, well, it's extremely heavy on the tires. So you want to do your lap, you want to be really easy in the first two sectors, and then absolutely send it in the third one, where you use the grip from the tires to set those blistering apex speeds. But it seems from what I've seen so far, most of the drivers are struggling in sector 1. But wow, Paris has done a 27.000. That's a very satisfying lap time, if I'm not wrong, if I would say so.
Yep, and that has firmly put him in the driving seat. That is head and shoulders above both of his championship contenders of what they've been able to muster in the qualifying session. Solo currently in
Ooh.
P8.
Oh, that's Freeman. Okay. Could we go on with Banat? I think he's on his lap.
I think he's
Oh,
coming.
he has invalidated it.
Has invalidated it, but will he get another opportunity?
No, I think this is his this is his flying lap, and he gets blocked by the Red Bull of Meerkat initiate there.
He was coming out
Ooh,
of
that
the pits, I think.
yeah.
Oh, and it's retired from the session. I don't think the car was under his control, whether he wanted to do that or not. But
And
yeah,
Banat has just I think Banat has retired as well. I think that's his AI driving around. Yep, I think he's had enough of that after being blocked by the Red Bull. But I don't think he knows that Meerkat Initiate wasn't in control of his vehicle there.
yep, Meerkat definitely had retired a couple of seconds prior to coming through turn one, and we saw Banat getting held up massively, and he has just aborted his lap after that. Not enough time, or not worth it to put more life on those soft tires and potentially risk running a risk in the race. But yes, Paris, in quite anticlimactic fashion, has clinched pole. There will still be an opportunity for some of these drivers. BK19 and Jag still on their flying lap. BK19 will come across the line now. Any further up? Yes, he will, putting himself in P6, starting just behind Banat on the third row and pushing Solo down even further, compounding his misery.
Yeah, that is Solo would not be happy with that position at all. Not helping his chances at winning the battle between the other two drivers. But yeah, it seems he has some work to do. And what's even more disdainful is that he is not out of the top 10, so he doesn't get that free tire choice either.
Indeed, it's definitely going to be a real battle for who can massage those tires and keep them going all the way until the end. It's definitely going to be an interesting race. And that is your final qualifier. Raftar is on an outlap, but I don't think that will be counted. So he will line up in P16. Yes, P16. So that should be your final qualifying order. Paris, the current leader in the World Drivers' Championship in Tier 2, has put it on pole once again. Abhi in P2, Electric on his comeback to League Racing in P3 for McLaren. P4 and 5 will be both the Alpine, Freeman, and Banat. Something tells me right at the start that those two guys will be swapping positions. We can't say anything right now, but that could potentially be the case. Potentially.
Yeah, you never know. If Freeman gets a good start, Banat could tell him to hold up the pack or uh, have a part to play. He could have a part to play and dwindle Paris's race pace if he's up there in terms of race pace. But yeah, you never know. Only time will tell.
K19, Aaron, Gavin, Rambo, Meerkat, and Solo round off the top 10, and this will be a disappointing qualifying session for Solo. He's only 1 point away from Paris in the Drivers' Championship and currently finds himself 9 positions away in qualifying, starting P10. Jags, Shrey, Monk, Tarang, Mountain Wolf, and Raftar are the other drivers who finished qualifying. Monk qualifying on the medium tires. I mean, he had free choice anyway, so maybe I don't think that's a tire he qualified on anyway. I think that was a tire he had just put on, and of course we have uh, Lals, who had a qualifying ban, so he did not set a lap and will start last.
The reason we see, just wanted to inform, the reason we see Rafta still doing laps because he rejoined the session, if you guys remember, and so his timer will be a bit off. Hence,
Oh,
he's still going around in circles, but all the lap times he puts will never get counted as laps.
oh, that is kind of
So if Banat's car, if you can see which car is still on track other than his car, I see two other cars on the track map. Those cars will be, if they're in the top 10, they'll be, their tires will be getting worn that much more.
Ooh, that's Jags, I believe. He was the last driver who didn't come in. He had an invalidated lap, but he just chose
I think there
to.
are 3 drivers in the grid from what I can see in the track map. BK19, I think it's an Aston Martin, and we saw Jags. Yeah, was that Alpha Boy? Oh wow.
Well,
There's some work to do there.
Yeah.
Massive tires. And we also have the two Hath boys joining in the session. Nikita
Oh,
Mazepin,
lovely.
Schumacher. Ah, let's
And
see.
Goatifi as well. Let's not forget him.
Oh, yeah, a combination of Schumacher and Gotifi is what caused the drama that happened last weekend. So less said, the better, I guess.
They're back to do something and conjure up some miracles again, I guess.
Awfully tight at the top there in qualifying. Just 200 separating Avi and Paras. Paras on pole position. That is the qualifying standing. So do get your predictions in the chat for this season finale. We've seen a lot of support for a number of drivers on the grid this season. So get in your final predictions for how this race will go. Of course, it's subject to change, obviously, like many legal documents out there, subject to change. So we might see a lot of things happening in the race which may warp the prediction slightly, but yeah, this is going to be an absolute firecracker of a race, and I cannot wait. I'm rubbing my hands in anticipation.
Absolutely, and it's yeah, we spoke about Solo having to do work, but so does Banat. He's found himself in P5, and he's the furthest away out of the three, out of the two who versus Paris. So yeah, it's both Solo and what do you call Banat who have found themselves in the back foot, and Paris would be having a field day right now. He's going to be very happy with that pole position.
Yep, but it's going to leave the likes of Banat and especially Solo with a lot of work to do. It's going to be all about trying to maximize your pace without getting held up too much in those opening laps. I think if you can get one of those Hamilton-esque mega starts that lands you 5, 6 positions in a single lap, then Solo will be praying to his lucky stars that he gets something along those lines to really push himself up the grid early on, or at least hoping that some of the drivers ahead of him get a terrible start. I mean, nobody would wish that, but you can hope for that as a driver as the drivers are setting up their cars, setting their fuel loads, choosing what tires they start on. Obviously, the top 10 do not get a choice in the matter, but the other 7 drivers outside of the top 10 get to start on a tire of their choice. So we could actually see the likes of Meerkat Initiator, my apologies, the likes of Lals and Jags start on the hard tires and really hope for a lot of destruction and carnage in those opening couple of laps and really get up the grid with all these safety cars and drivers ahead pitting. So, the race is not over for anybody at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's also interesting is that the hards to the softs is a possible a plausible strategy because you have lower fuel loads by the end of the race, and that means less tire wear. So you can actually take those softs for longer distance. So the hard softs is possible, and that could certainly like play a factor in holding up the title challenges if there are any drivers who would opt for that strategy. But anyways, that's for us to know. And could we have the tire graphic actually, if that's possible? Yep. Interestingly, no one has gone for the hards, which is not all too surprising. Even though the hards do last the longest, they're absolutely well. They have no grip. It's like driving on ice in the first stint. But those are your tire choices, and yeah, it seems the alternate strategy will be very interesting to see.
Yep, going to be another game of 4D chess for everyone outside the top 10 as they try to outsmart everybody within the top 10. But something I would say everyone should keep an eye on, apart from the obvious championship battle going on, obviously, I'm not going to deter from that, is Lals has chosen to go on the soft tires. So we may see him carve up those back markers. No, I won't say back markers because he's currently all the way at the back, but he'll be carving up some of those drivers starting outside the top 10 as they will take 1 or 2 laps to get those mediums into the window, whereas the softs will be already be within the window.
Actually, the tire temps is the least of the concerns here because it's actually easy to overheat the tires, and we just see who's that? Is that Solo and Mountain Wolf on the grid?
Yes, yes.
Ooh, that's not going to help Solo all too much, is it? His tires will be cooling down there, waiting on the grid.
So the man
Um,
has qualified quite far back and will have cold tires at the start. Not really setting himself up here for the optimum start, is he?
The world is throwing everything against his way, isn't it? It's just
It very
not
much.
going right for him, but that gives him
I
all the more reason to push like a lion if I were to quote Fernando Alonso and absolutely overtake everyone. And he has got the racecraft from what we've seen in the season. He's got the consistency, more importantly.
I
But does
wonder.
he
I
have
wonder.
the? Yeah.
I no. I wonder if Freeman or Burnett have L plan written on their rear wing. Oh, I'm just salivating at that thought. But I briefly
L
cut off
plan
Harry.
indeed.
so wanted to just point out the chat's already on that topic. Everyone's asking Banat to give that particular sentence, defend like a lion to Freeman and partially to Electrip as well. And yeah, that's something that's running around in the chat. Some guys have called Paras the mobile man.
Yeah, that is interesting. But to defend, he needs to find himself in front of the championship leader who has put it on pole for tonight's grid as all the drivers get ready for the five lights. We're still waiting, but yep, ACL, take it away.
Is for the grid to reform here. The last couple of drivers slotting into place, getting themselves lined up in their grid box. Tensions are going to be palpable, more so than at any point during this season. 2 points separating the top two, 8 points separating the top three, all to play for in this final race of this season. Bahrain underneath the lights, still not seeing the lights though. I think
I
hopefully
think
it's
the
not a
pause for dramatic effect is taken a bit too seriously tonight.
let's all have 10 minutes of silence while the lights when they eventually start working, because they will. Hopefully, this isn't a server glitch or a host issue of some sort. This would be the most anticlimactic way to end or to start the championship.
Lobby will be restarted, guys.
Oh wow.
Ah, of course.
Well,
Thank you once again, Codemasters. You have once again managed to blue ball
always,
us.
always.
That's always the deductive game, F1 2021. It brings you in and then it tells you, nah, I'm not going to work right now. So we will have a lobby restart. And in the meantime, we can talk a little bit about the real life Grand Prix as well.
Yeah, sure. Why not? What did you think of it, HCL? Because, in my opinion, I know that last call was a bit iffy. Well, it was very iffy. I think it was uh, completely unfair to Lewis, but it did provide us a show. And it seems F1 is gearing up more towards the show aspect than the racing aspect. So we'll have to see what goes on. But what did you think of that finale?
I think once all the emotions and once all the adrenaline has settled down a bit, I think I was definitely rooting for Max to win. It's not that I didn't want Lewis to win. I think it's just it's time we had a new champion. I think it's time we had someone else take that top step. And I got my wish. Probably not in the way that I would have wanted it, but it happened. So it is what it is. Obviously, the necessary investigations have happened and the allegations have been thrown in social media. I mean, I don't even need to talk about social media. It's been an absolute storm right now.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of people taking both sides. Obviously, a lot of people fighting for Lewis. A lot of people fighting for Max. A lot of people. But one thing that is unanimous is that the FIA shouldn't have this much control over race results because the calls that they made were very crucial in the end and cost someone. the World Championship. So I mean, yeah, that's gonna be the main thing, the main point that's gonna be highlighted after that race. But yeah, I mean, the Drive to Survive crew have all the content they would ever need for that championship finale. They have everything they could to make money off it, and
I mean, I'm pretty sure they've written this season. Like it's all scripted, man. Like what a season we've had. We've had like incidents in almost every race. Every race has been a banger for races.
I'm sorry, I have to get into this conversation.
Oh
It's
yeah,
too,
absolutely, Harry.
it's
We
too
would love to hear
spicy.
your insight on it as well.
Well, first of all, the scripted, maybe not, because that's very sensitive. I mean, it's so on the edge, it's so tough to call it. Like how I have to unfortunately compare it to IPL, but yeah, there's both theories and both seem very, very possible, but we do not know as a fact because we're
No, I
just the
mean, I
general
just mean
public.
scripted as a joke. I mean, I don't
Oh,
actually mean it's
fair.
scripted. Obviously not. I just mean it's basically Netflix's wet dream, if I would say so. It's like printing their own
Absolutely.
money. The season, that's how it's played out.
We
With all
had
the drama
memes.
we've got.
Yeah, we had memes stating Michael Massey is probably the DTS director, the secret director of DTS. So, but yeah, after I saw the FI verdict sheet which comes out for the protest from Mercedes about the safety car in the last few laps closing in stages of the race, it was till that point I was kind of convinced that they had broken the rules and they had done something wrong with the safety car usage. But the the thing that breaks all of that, oversteps all of these rules, is particularly if people want to search it out, Article 15.3, the FI rule book. It states that the safety car is completely under the control of the
Race director,
race
you're right,
director.
Harry. I know, even I had seen that. But it's just surprising. Okay, fine, the article exists, but how and why that article exists is also,
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of interesting and like surprising. It
lifeline.
surprised a lot of fans at how such a a rule can be like an article can be listed down, and it's the first time we've seen it to come into effect in a title changing manner, if I would say so.
Absolutely. In fact, FI themselves have clearly told that the rule book. I mean, the way they've written that verdict sheet, it was so clear that it's anyone can, determine or under decipher these rules in their own way. Because at the end of the day, it's a rule book, and F1's all about a lot about finding loopholes and finding gray areas and utilizing it to the max. And yeah, FI themselves have told which, quote unquote, which in our determination includes its deployment and withdrawal about that article. So I think that should answer a lot of questions.
It's basically them saying, okay, we are axing that.
Absolutely. But on the other hand,
point we have a podcast episode about this. I think that would be a real opportunity to market the podcast idea again. But we shouldn't get too distracted and too detracted and digress too much from the race on hand, which should be getting going underway at any point. Obviously, what happened has happened. We've all had this discussion, and obviously now I regret starting this discussion because we have gone almost entirely to talking about F1 in real life. But we do apologize to everyone waiting in the chat. We should be going green anytime soon. The server was restarted, and we should be getting what we're here for any time now. So if you did miss it, qualifying has finished, and Paris has put it on pole position, and Banat is lining up in P5 just behind his teammate Freeman. And a lot of people in the chat, I think someone even mentioned while you guys were talking about F1, Freeman sir, please sign my chest. Yeah.
oh no.
Interestingly, from the chat, as I can see, one guy's listed, I think it's Freeman, as the Punjab Minister of Defense, and that is going to be his role in the race if he wants to give Banat the chance at the title. That is absolutely right. He has to absolutely, embody that role if he wants to play the team game, and we're definitely going to see a lot of teamwork in this race.
I want to do something different,
Yes,
give a
definitely.
different timeline altogether here. Imagine they unfortunately, in an attempt to even trying to give space to Banat to take over the position for free, they make contact.
All right, Harry, I didn't
Oh,
know
that
you were
would
one of
be
the
very
co-writers of Drive to Survive, but it's now known.
Oh no.
harryrox is Michael Massey confirmed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a couple of guys
Harry,
in the
you should
chat
give us
there
some
just
tickets to
asking.
the finale next time, man. I didn't know you had these many contacts.
Uh, well, being an Indian, I think we should have a slight word about this because the chat seems to be quite hot on this topic. Jahan Daruwala signing for Prema Racing in F2, and he's done well in a few practice sessions. Now he stopped the last practice session they had. Not practice, sorry, it's called testing. Yeah, testing session.
Oh, that's great to hear, man. Like, I'd say he's the last hope for an Indian F1 driver to get into F1. So far, we haven't seen any other rookie drivers in any of the other F series, if I'm not wrong. I don't know if that's correct or not, but yeah, we're all hoping that Jehan can channel his inner pace demon and get into F1 at some point down the line.
Absolutely. And so, Itzel, what do you think about safety cars? Let's get that topic out as well in terms of this race. How many safety cars do you think we'll have?
Oh, hard to predict, but I think Bahrain generally doesn't see many safety cars because it's not. I mean, we got a lot of space on track, a lot of overtaking opportunities as well. Not really many dangerous moves anywhere, last ditch attempts. But this is the championship decider, so I hopefully expect I don't expect it, but I think we should see at least one safety car. I think there's going to be that one elbows out situation where there's going to be two or three cars going wide into a single corner, and it is going to be very, very spicy. So I expect one safety car at the minimum, but hopefully we don't get that. Hopefully we see all the racing action happening right from lap one all the way till the end. Hopefully we don't see any safety cars. That would be very, very anticlimactic, and it will slow down this race. I want good racing, clean racing, and most importantly, a good, clean battle. So yeah, one safety car is my prediction, but if it were me, I don't want that either.
An interesting fact for our viewers tonight: the top three in an order is Paras, Solo, and then Banat, respectively in the Aston Martin, McLaren, and Alpine. And the top three for the constructors is Aston Martin, Alpine, and McLaren. So
Ooh,
it's not only the drivers who have the champ. The WDC is not the only thing at hand. It's also the WCC, which is also at stake here. So yeah, we could be seeing, and we've had Electrip qualify P2 or 3, if I'm not wrong.
yep.
And yeah, it seems Alpine are in the best position right now, which is 4 and 5. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle in terms of WDC and WCC. It seems.
I think there's another battle as well, maybe quite not as crucial as the other ones, but we also have Banat leading with three fastest laps across this whole season. But Paris is on two. So if Paris gets a fastest lap during the course of this race, they'll both be tied for three, and then deciding is going to be very difficult. Obviously, there is no award or any points for that, but it's another battle. It just shows that this season has been very, very consistent, and we've just seen a lot of competitiveness from all three championship rivals and also all the other drivers as well.
Um, in the chat, they want to know the points difference in the constructors, so I'm just going to read out the top five. Aston Martin is in P1 with a 183 with 183 points to their name. Alpine's in P2 with 154 points. McLaren is in P3 with 131. Alfa Romeo is in 87 and in P4 with 87 points. Red Bull Racing is in P5 with 81 points. And let's not forget that McLaren have only one driver whose points will be taken into consideration. That's Solo. Electrip is a reserve driver, so his points do not add to the Constructors' Championship.
Yep, we're
Ooh,
seeing
that
a
is, yep, yeah.
yeah,
So I stand corrected there, yeah, Harry. Thanks for that. Electrip will not be contributing to the Constructors' Championship, as you heard Harry say there. But I still think if Solo can ramp it up in terms of grid position and finishing position, and it's anyone's game. Anything can happen, and it usually does in Formula One, as we've seen from this season. But yeah, it's all to play for.
Hopefully we get a clean start this time. No Codemasters cheese, for the love of God. We should have another outlap though. Weather forecast should be dry as it was before. Yes, a 45-minute dry race. And all of you in the chat are finally getting what you have been waiting for. It should be the race start in just a little while. We see the drivers again warming up, but this will be another chance for Solo to warm up his tires properly. Last time around, he had DSQ'd in the outlap and was sitting there on cold tires. Oh, as we see, big mess at turn one. I don't know what's going on. We've seen a lot of drive. I think it's just that they were filtering through there quite slowly, backing each other up. But Paras seems to be quite a bit ahead of the rest of the pack. Man seems to be setting qualifying pace on his outlap. But yeah, this is going to be the big moment. We have more than 200 people watching. Thank you guys very much for tuning in this evening, and rightly so. This is a very, very interesting championship battle. So go ahead and drop your predictions once again. This is the starting lineup as it stands. You see a predicted pit stop strategy as well. Yeah, it's all to play for. Fares has left everyone else in the dust.
That he's absolutely gunned it, hasn't he? And I don't think it's the smartest of decisions, because you do want every single whatever unit of grip is, and I don't know, every single unit of grip, let's call it, from your tires, because as you've discussed, it's a very abrasive circuit, and Solo's just absolutely blasted through the formation lap. So that won't be helping his tires very much, but you never know. It's all part of the mind games as well. So yeah, we'll just have to see. Yes, I guess.
Some people in the chat asking for the Drivers' Championship standings once again. Paras leading, Solo in second, Banat in third. All three of them separated by 8 points. So this race is going to be incredibly crucial for
And
those three
1
drivers.
point
if they
between
want-
Solo and Paras. Important to note that.
Indeed. Yep, the first and second place are separated by just a point. It's almost like Abu Dhabi all over again. My hairs are standing on their ends right now. Hopefully we see 5 lights. We do see 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. The championship finale underway. We are away. Ooh, Freeman's got a mega start there on Abhi. See, Abhi caught a little bit sleeping. Banat side by side with Electrip as well. Paras will go uncontested into turn 1, but behind it's 4 wide going into turn 1. They've sort of sorted themselves out a bit there.
Banat had to back out there. He didn't want to take any risks, but most importantly, he's gotten past his teammate. It's Banat ahead of the Alpine of Freeman.
Yep, there's a car spinning out in the background there as well. I saw it. Mountain Wolf has lost a couple of positions. Doesn't seem to have gotten much damage, so we shouldn't see any yellow flags or safety car or VSC. Racing carries on. Electrip has gotten a mega start, has jumped Abhi, and Banat predictably has also jumped Freeman, which will give him a free chance to go at Paras now.
No pun intended there, but yeah, Banat is absolutely on the charge, and he needs to get past Abhi and Electrip. He really does. Or if he doesn't, he has to factor in the undercut, which I think we forgot to mention this, HC. The undercut is extremely powerful here at Bahrain. But yeah, it's a clean start for both the Alpine drivers, and it seems the WCC, as it stands, will be going to them.
Indeed, comfortable position for the two Alpine boys right now, P4 and P5. They have predictably swapped positions. L plan is in full effect as Banat slots into P4 just behind Abhi, who seems to have had a torrid start. He had a terrible start and was immediately facing pressure from Banat on the inside, and Electrip just flipped round the outside as Electrip will have to defend from Abhi here coming down into turn 1. Will there be a battle? They push, there's a little bit of contact. Electrip pushed a little wide, but they do keep it clean through turn 1. Electrip pinched on the inside, but Abhi slips into P2. Hopefully that doesn't
Still almost side by side there, just less than a 10 separating both of them. And I think Abhi has turned in on Electrip. Oh, he's just lost it on the braking, and Bharat slips by
Up into
crucially.
P3. Bharat up into P3. Abhi will be fuming right now with electric. Obviously,
No, I think. Well, I'm not sure, but I think he's locked his rear tires, and which is very easy to do in turn 4 because of its off camber at the apex. But yeah, crucially, Bharat has evaded that tussle there, and he's got himself
Get out of-
pole positions.
get out of jail free card, if you will. Also, bad news for electric. He's outside of DRS. Assuming when DRS does get going, Banat will have a clean run at electric into the next DRS zone, whereas Faras has already pulled out a 1.8 second gap, now falling to 1.6. But Banat has gotten a beautiful start as his
Oh,
yellow
Electric
flag.
has lost it.
Electric has lost it. Banat is up into P2. This man is getting all the get out of jail free cards in a single race.
For a season which has mostly not gone his way, I mean, it's not been incident free. This one so far it seems luck is on his side.
Yep. Banat, Abhi will try to get the move on Banat, but it seems he's busy having to defend from Freeman just behind him. Ooh! Abhi just touched the inside curb and lost the rear a little bit. And that
Abhi's got a great exit out of turn 2 there. He's going to challenge Bharat.
off
into
the
turn 4.
inside of
Going
Banat.
from the inside. Going around the outside is
Oh, they
Bharat.
still side by side, but Banat has.
Yeah, he had to
Yeah,
back out there.
unfortunately. Yeah, he had to concede the position. This is great racing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all kicking off here in Bahrain, isn't it? As Freeman is making his way up the field as well, and he's gotten past. I think he was already ahead of Meerkat Initiate, but Meerkat Initiate has closed up to Freeman. Sorry, that's what's happened. Yeah, and Banat absolutely not taking any risks here. He played that very safe into turn 4, and he's playing the long game.
This, however, is working out well in Paris's favor. All these guys squabbling behind him means he has opened a 2.5 second gap. Now, that means he doesn't have to push his tires as much. He doesn't have to use as much ERS. Also, if we can bring up the telemetry, Dan, we get a good idea of where these guys' ERS and stuff stand. So, Banat currently sitting on 67% ERS. He'll have a nice big squirt of ERS going down the main straight now. Yep, DRS is also available.
And he uses the slipstream to his advantage. ERS, DRS, and slipstream, and that triple combo is unstoppable. But Abhi breaks late there, and he's kept it in.
I think that's more to do with the fact that Banat may have outbroke himself a little bit. It seemed like Abhi got through there pretty effortlessly. And tell you what, this is not helping Freeman, who's hoping his teammate can just pull away, which means he can fight Meerkat Initiate, but he's being held up a bit actually by Banat now. This is not going in Banat's favor.
I think nerves are at play here. Banat is being extremely cautious with his moves here, but you know it's interesting because when as he nearly loses it out of that hairpin. But yeah, when you be cautious in this game, when you don't take the full apex speed, you lose a lot of downforce and you understeer out, like you get washed outside the dirty line. So you can't get to lax here in Formula 1.
Indeed. This is helping Paras.
And all this while, it seems Abhi has gotten a bit back on Paras as things are cooling down here. But what's important here is that Paras is still in the undercut window. The undercut is let me remind you, is very powerful. If you can get that stonking in lap and out lap wall like perfect, you can gain that 2.2 seconds back easily.
I think right now Banat's priority is not to lose too much of those soft tires trying to get past Abhi. He is quite far back. Abhi will move to the inside to defend. Banat will have to settle for the outside and will have to take the long way around. Abhi has outbroken. He'll have DRS again on this next straight. It all depends on his
Abhi gets he gets a much better exit there, and Banat. Well, I'll tell you what he's using up right now is his ERS.
Jags has gotten into a little bit of an incident coming through turn 1, and there's a virtual
VSC. I think Paras will be glad it's a VSC and not a safety car. It's all kicking off here under the lights of Bahrain, and yeah, it seems Banat is the nerves are getting to him.
This is going to be not as damaging as a full safety car for Paris, but we will see all of them kind of come a little bit closer together, allow them to conserve their tires a little bit. If anything, it's a godsend for Banat.
Yeah, it's crucial that he gets his head in the right place and cools down a bit, not only his tires but himself as well, and suss out and follow up his lines and see where he's braking late, braking early, and then plan the move accordingly. When you're following a driver, it's very important to make note of what lines he's taking and where he's braking to evaluate where they're losing time, and that's how you plan an overtake. The overtake is planned at least 4 or 5 laps before in real life Formula One, and that's what Bharat needs to do. He needs to suss out what Abhi's doing right now.
I think we have gone green just now on track. Yes, we have gone green. Banat will have a clean run on Abhi, down into
He's
turn
on
on
it.
Abhi again. Yep, cover off the inside. Ooh, brilliant racing
Hang
there.
around the outside there, but he backs out of there. His wing was in danger, and very rightfully so, he backs out. And again, point in case Bharat, from what I said, he's not sussing out. He's going for it straight away. He needs to keep a cool head about all this.
Tell you what, though, I feel like Banat may have learned from that turn one encounter. He's done it a few times now with Abhi. Something tells me the next lap he won't go for it at turn one, just will stick behind Abhi, try to get a good run out of turn two. That will be crucial.
But what's very impressive to note here is that Abhi is defending brilliantly against Bharat. He's always got that really good exit out of turn two, which negates the use of DRS which Bharat has. So props to Abhi as well. He's choosing all the right lines through there and doing the slow and fast out approach, it seems.
He is still outside as he makes a mistake there. Coming
Getting
through
all
turn
loosey
12.
goosey in the rear there, as Vettel would say, and this is Bharat's. It's his best chance so far. But will he go for the move here? He does.
He goes around the outside. Will he get the move done? Abhi's on the inside pinch, but he does get it done. Banat up into
Abhi's gonna
P2,
get
but he'll
DRS
have
right now.
DRS. Now Banat will have to defend down into turn one, and he's considerably far back. Abhi will get the move done again. Banat
Yeah,
with a interesting choice of overtakings. He's chosen an interesting place to overtake. Let's say as Banat
and
goes,
he's lost it.
Banat has spun coming out of turn two. Just gives it a little bit too much throttle, and he's dropped down into P8. This is tragic.
This is that is curtains. I mean, I won't call it yet, but that is a huge blow for his chances of clinching the title.
About 7, 8 or so seconds from where he was before, but more importantly, he's lost all that track position as he has to fight through these guys now.
Yeah, and now as things have cooled down after that spin from Banat, it seems that BK is on the charge and he's following Rambo very closely. Rambo, who's very rapid at the start and very consistent, might I add, it seems he's dropped off in terms of pace in the last few rounds. But yeah, it's extremely disappointing. Like it's extremely saddening what's happened there. Paris will be, probably dancing in his cockpit right now at what's happened to Banat. But yeah.
As it currently stands, Paris will clinch the title, but it's not over till it's over. A famous sentence usually said before something tragic happens. But anyway, Freeman, as Solo has left the session, his car will be ghosted, but Freeman dives down the inside. I know. Yep.
Oh, what is going on? Solo, the second championship contenders left the session, but Freeman showing how it's done. He gets past the Red Bull of Abhi, but Abhi has DRS. He's going to send it down the inside. Yes, he does. Freeman tries to hang around the outside. There's some contact.
And there's a spin. There's a spin. Abhi has been spun around. He's done 2 donuts and is eventually facing the right way. I was just going to mention, right as Freeman made that overtake, this might be Banat telling Freeman, just get ahead of Abhi, hold him up a bit, try to catch up to Paris, hold him up a bit as well. We saw Banat has pitted now for a set of medium tires, so he's gone for the undercut, well, a massive undercut, let's say, hopefully trying to outlast the guys on the softs.
Could we have a look at Pars's tires? Because one thing I've forgotten to mention, the tires have been dying these last few laps. We saw Abhi's tires were like orange in the rears, so the grip has been low, and it's ice skating almost out there right now. And Paras doesn't have his telemetry on, but yeah, point in case you can see Abhi's tires are absolutely, and he's lost it again.
Again, trying to fight against the ghosted AI of Solo right now. He can just drive through him, but I felt like briefly Solo might have rejoined again because he was defending as if he could not go through his car as he just did there.
I don't think Solo has joined back in this session, if I'm not wrong. It seems he's disconnected, and that's extremely unfortunate for one of the title contenders here tonight.
I am going to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of us who are joining us this evening. 260 viewers right now on the stream. Absolutely massive. Thank you guys very much. Of course, if you do enjoy the stream, go ahead, like and subscribe and follow us for more content in the future similar to this. This championship battle is not over just yet, so stay tuned in as we are going to head into the final stages very, very soon. 9 laps in and Paras leads. For now.
I wanted to just point it out. Abhi has gone on to a fresh set of softs.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well, Harry. Thank you for that. Yeah, that is an interesting decision. I think he's trying to do a very aggressive undercut on Paras here. Because believe it or not, he can actually pull that off if he's absolutely rapid and does some hammer time lap times on that outlap. But yeah, what's going to happen though is he's going to have to get on the mediums for the last stint, and he's already here. He's using the grip on the soft tires. He's going around the outside of Mountain Wolf in that section where you rarely see an overtake. So he's using the grip from the soft tires right now.
Like a scalpel, he's cutting through that grid right now. A lot of people in the chat saying that Freeman has to play a Perez kind of role today. Just hold up those guys at the front, put pressure on Perez. Currently, he's 2 seconds off, but he's carrying a good amount of pace on these soft tires, and assuming they both pit on the same lap, Perez and Freeman might be pitted against each other very soon.
It seems the gaps have gone a bit haywire. I'm pretty sure they're not correct, but I think they should reset after this lap. Yep, they're going to reset again. But yeah, Banat and Abhi both have tried to undercut the leader here, but interestingly, the leader, Paras, is on lap 10. He's still on those softs.
He's trying
I
to
think he's going. Yeah, he is definitely going for the soft hard.
Yep, he's going for the one-stop strategy, and the one-stop strategy of dreams, really. It's going to have to take some real tire management, especially if Banat is on the softer tire towards the end.
And Rambo's just done the switchback of dreams there. What a move.
Yep, exactly. Great move there through turn 5s and 6. Heading now down to turn 8, and he's got the move done on PK19, I believe. Yes, indeed. As we see Electric coming back on Banat, round 2 potentially. Electric spun out the first time these two guys were involved in a battle. Not as a result of any contact, it was driver error, but now he'll get a chance to redeem himself.
Very low on ERS though, might I add, and he does have that penalty looming over him as well. Only 3 drivers with penalties right now. It's not very.
Spits.
Yeah.
Paras has pitted, Freeman has pitted as well. The top 2 have come in. Something tells me Solo will follow them in closely as well, or his AI will have to do. His AI hasn't pitted. Solo will inherit the race lead briefly, but he will inherit the race lead.
You never. Oh my God! There's a yellow flag.
Oh, yellow flag in sector 3. There's a Ferrari that's facing
It's a spun car. It's a spun car. Yeah, it seems if that was a safety car and Solo had a free pit stop there.
Tell you what though, Monk and Paras has gone onto the hard tires. Yep, definitely.
And he's come out ahead of Monk as well. That just goes to show what insanely consistent pace he had on those dying softs. Wow.
Monk now going to try his best to hold up Freeman for as long as possible, but on those new hard tires, they will take a lap or 2 to get into the window as Abhi sends it down the inside of Rambo. Rambo still side by side with them as they go through turn 5.
Oh, and he's turned in on Rambo.
Big contact there between the two of them. Rambo facing the opposite direction. He will feel a little hard done by right there. There will be some looking at the stewards. We'll have to look at that a little later. But yeah, Abhi unrelenting right now.
Yeah, he does not want to waste those softs at all. He's doing everything. to get past this grid. But Ramo will be thankful the walls aren't too perilously close here in Bahrain. But yeah, it seems Paras just has the upper hand on pace today, and Banat has
and
evidently shown it just doesn't have pace. Even Electric is hounding.
Banat's struggling a bit right now without that DRS. Something tells me he should be a little smart, play the long game, allow Electric through right now, use that DRS again to catch up, or hope that Electric makes a mistake. But right now he's desperately trying to defend against a position that technically he shouldn't even have been in. Fortunately, he made a mistake earlier on and he's found himself in P8. Solo comes into the pits and Banat will make up another position. Electric moves to the outside.
And he's going to lose another position as Electric goes around the outside. He's kept it held there.
Side by side.
He's backed out.
Electric had waited until the very last second there to back out of that. Any more, a little more contact, and Banat would have been facing the opposite direction, or worse, a car out of the
Few
race.
end plates would also have been donated there. But yeah, Electric showing some great race pace here. Even after a spin, he's on it. And Banat by no means is slow at all. He's one of the fastest in Tier 2. I'd say he's the fastest in terms of consistency. But yeah,
We
Electric.
can go on, but right now is a little bit of contact between the Red Bull teammates. They're Freeman about to mount and overtake. DRS open on Monk. If we can go to Freeman.
And he's going in up the inside, as we can see from Abhi's
Oh,
on board.
and
And yeah, he's got it done. Freeman has got it done. And crucially, he's not too far off from Paras. Freeman does have the pace here, and he can. Oh wow! I tell you what, if he has the pace on Paras, and gets him, he can play the defending game and hold him up a trade.
He's going to play the Perez card. Freeman is a legend. We're going to expect that line coming over the Alpine radio, hopefully.
An animal.
An animal. He's an absolute animal. God.
As both the Red Bulls are going side by side, and Abhi on those fresh softs. Is he going to break much later? Yes, he's got the move done.
Ooh, as BK90 will also try to look up the inside of Meerkat initiate. Very sneaky move there from the
And
Alpha
he's got
driver.
him as well. Wow.
Yes. I think that was what the Red Bull drivers were trying to avoid, is letting BK19 through as well as Monk instead of Freeman. Freeman's run right.
Monk is doing everything to prevent Freeman from putting on a charge and getting
But
his teammate
Abhi
there.
is fighting Monk now. Abhi right on Monk's diffuser on the new set of soft tires. He's going to be
It seems Monk had to go from attacking to defending really quick there, and Abhi on those soft tires has so much more grip. You can see visually. He's got the switchback when the switchback shouldn't have been possible.
9 going into turn 10. He will be still on the outside, but he'll get DRS coming onto the silver side, and he's made contact again.
Abhi is not taking any prisoners today, is he?
Oh, like a scalpel
Man
cutting.
has been at the center of attention of every single incident.
Every
out here.
time we come on board Abhi, he seems to crash into well, not crash, he seems to make contact with someone, let's say. Tell you what though, Freeman has massively cut the deficit now. 5/10 he's cut down in that last 2 sectors alone. This is a man on a mission. And
He
Banat
is absolutely on it.
Yep, and Banat's currently sitting in P7 on 4-lap old mediums. The other yellow flag is a McLaren has lost it, not retired those, but
It's
he
Electric
has-
again.
Yes, and he's donated a front wing end plate there. Another one to the cause, the loyal cause. Of
It
Formula
seems
1.
he's got the pace, but he's lacked that. The time away from the game has
Affected
he's
his
lacked that consistency. Yeah,
and the racecraft is a little bit rusty as well, let's say.
yeah, but it's all going to come back to him as he resumes his normal sim racing hobbies. But it seems Solo is on those fresh hards, let me tell you, and he will be taking those till the end. Whereas Bharat has to make another pit stop.
Yes, that is going to be crucial. He has to pit again make the mediums last until the end. That's going to be a tall order for even for the best of drivers. So, I'm very, very interested to see how that plays out. Ooh, Freeman has dropped back a bit though. The 2-second gap is once again open, but this allows a B to slip into the battle again for P2. Freeman has made a mistake somewhere, I feel like.
Yeah, it seems, or maybe Paras was just cool, he was very conservative and he just started to push a little bit 2 and maintain that gap for 2 seconds. You know, Paras is a very smart driver we've seen so far. He knows when to push and when to like back off. So he's playing the mind games here.
Solo is back into the session and fighting for P7. Banat also fighting. It can initiate.
Oh, he's lost his wing.
Oh dear, it did seem like he was down and out of this championship battle after qualifying badly as Abhi slips down the inside of Freeman, another front wing. We were just talking about Solo there, another front wing donated to the loyal cause of Formula 1. But Abhi has slipped down the inside of
And
Freeman.
Bharat is trying to go for a move on. He can initiate again. He can't get the run out of turn 2. It seems Bharat just can't get the power down out of that first corner.
What? Abhi could be trying to help out Banat a little bit here as well. If he can catch up to Paras, which he is doing right now at a rapid pace.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, he's pushing right now like mad.
Somewhere someone has paid some money to this Red Bull driver. Farm his way to the front of the grid and take out Paris. If that is the case,
Okay, let's not grasp at straws here, HCL.
the Michael Massey conspiracy theory. Let's go. Not to try to influence this championship too much. Just oh my God, Abhi is already within 8 tenths. This man is flying right now.
He's using everything from those soft tires, and we've spoken about this before. The mechanical grip, where it comes into sector 2. He gets a bit squirmy out of that corner, but we've spoken about this. The mechanical grip that comes into play is showing its true power here. How OP it is.
If anything, if he's not involved in the drivers' championship, this man is definitely making it interesting for the other 3 drivers. Maybe not Solo, who has fallen out of the top 10, as Abhi will try to mount the overtake on Paras. Paras finally loses the race lead as Abhi inherits the race lead down into turn 1. A pretty mundane overtake, but this is bad news now for Paras, who finds himself on the cusp of Freeman.
Banat is back on P5. What a move around the outside. If you can't get the power down out of turn 1, just do the move in turn 1. It seems he's going to go back that law now.
That is something that could potentially happen now. If Banat catches up to the likes of BK and Freeman and he overtakes BK, we could see Banat slipping behind Paras after the pitch, if Freeman chooses to let him pass, and we could see another battle between Banat and Paras, this time with...
I tell you what, Freeman is perilously close to Paras here.
He might get the... actually Paras will have the DRS as well, but...
No, he
Paras
doesn't.
doesn't have the DRS, he's outside a second. Will Freeman get the overtake done here?
He backs out. He's going to go for the cutback though. Where's where's this drop off of pace come up from Paras? I think he's just got a bit off guard there from the move of Buffett.
He's been rattled a bit in the football term.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been leading majority of the race, and he's gotten overtaken. Probably nerves at play again, I'd say. But Freeman is not backing down. He's going to go for that move, and he will do his best to help his teammate. But he does get a bit squirmy out of the last corner. Yeah.
He'll have DRS, ERS, everything open, whatever he has available to him, all the engine modes.
And he just sails past the Aston Martin.
Woo!
And
What?
now, it's time to defend like a lion, Freeman.
Oh, now Freeman's going to be trying to back Paras up into BK19, who's also right there. BK19 definitely not going to be playing any kind of second fiddle to this battle. He's going to be trying to scalp Paras as much as possible, and he's already on the tail end of that battle there. This is really turning out to be an interesting race now. Paras suddenly has a massive drop off in pace.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, if BK gets Paras here, and which I think he will, because at this point the mediums are still faster than the hards, he'll get stuck in a DRS train, and that's not going to help him at all.
That's going to help Banat, if anything, who's only 2.8 seconds behind. We have another yellow flag here. I think an Alpha has been it coming through.
It's the new boy. He's still not found his footing in the game, it seems, but he will get there. So keep on trying, lad. He will make it.
BK19 perilously close to Paras here. Actually, Paras might just drop out of DRS zone. He's officially out of DRS. Freeman a second clear now. Paras won't be getting the DRS main straight as BK19 threatens to take away his P4, the final podium position.
Paras has gotten back within DRS. Crucially important that he had to get back within DRS there. But BK
DRS coming into the detection
zone.
zone. Yeah. He has to be within DRS coming into the detection zone, which I don't think he is. I don't think he. No, he does get
He
DRS.
is, he was 8
Oh,
tenths
but
away.
BK
BK is using all of his ERS and DRS and slipstream as we mentioned it before, and he goes down the inside.
Oh,
Oh,
massively outbreak himself though. But he'll come for the comeback. They're still side by side going through turn 2. BK has gotten the overtake done now. And this is helping Bharat, who's caught up nearly 6 tenths on that last lap alone.
Wow.
BK still holding up. Oh, yeah, still holding up Bharat. BK goes very wide. But he's made the move stick and he's gotten ahead.
And now Bharat's back in it. Because I tell you what, Bharat, while he has to make another pit stop, Bharat's tires will be shot by the end of it, let me tell you.
Something
And-
tells me Bharat's tires have already. He's pushed a little too hard, I feel, in the opening couple of laps on the hard.
Or maybe the hards aren't up to temperature, as you were saying, which could be another plausibility. But how's Freeman gotten them up to temperature then? It's all very interesting here, but this sudden drop off of pace, maybe he has sustained some damage, or is it the nerves? I can't tell you what it is, but what I can tell you is that we have the championship battle back on our hands, lads.
Bharat 1.3 seconds away from Paras now. The gap just seems to be dropping and dropping. Of course, Bharat is on the faster tire, but this is this is, you can't even make head or tail of this. Paras has somehow completely bottled this, and it's too soon to tell, obviously, but he was 2 seconds clear in clear air, running away with it essentially. And and Abhi's got a 5-second penalty, which won't help.
Oh no! And Watkins' soft tires are absolutely shot there. Wow, he
Tell you
was
what,
pushing them.
Hats off. I'll applaud him. He has done exactly what he didn't intend to do, which is make the championship infinitely more interesting. Paras now finds himself in P3, 1.3 seconds off Banat. He currently finds himself 8 tenths off BK19. That gap will inevitably increase because BK is on those medium tires. If he finds himself outside DRS, Banat is going to be lining him up in his sights any moment now.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but does Banat have a fresh set of softs at his disposal, or does he have a scrubbed set? Because if he has a fresh set, this could be his. I'll tell you that from now on.
I think he did go from a set of medium tires onto a set of soft tires during
So
quali.
he has saved that third set of soft tires for the race.
He will have soft tires. He does. You're right.
Yeah, this is gonna come down to the wire, folks. This
That's
is gonna come down to the wire because Bharat will have to make another pit stop. It's inevitable, but he will have those fresh softs at his disposal, and he will be catching Paras at a rate of naught once he's made that stop.
Keeping an eye on Aaron Gavin, he's currently on 15 lap old mediums, but considering on the off chance or the hypothetical chance that he makes it to 20 laps on those medium tires, assuming Banat has really conserved those tires, which unfortunately I don't think is the case since he's been pushing for the last couple of laps.
And he was the first to pit to the mediums as well. One of the first.
Yeah, if he pushes those medium tires all the way till the end, there's potentially a chance for him to go on the one stop as well. It's a very, very outside chance, but it's still a chance.
If I were him, I would not go for the one stop. I would go and put on those fresh softs. We've seen it in this race. How Abhi on the second stint as well, when you have heavier fuel loads, push like a madman, who was taking some time to get past the cars, but still those softs had the grip on everybody else around him. So if I were him,
tell you what, the Solo has managed to slowly claw himself up back into the top 10, and tell you what, currently he's on 1 point. And if on the off chance that Banat and Paras come together, I'm not saying anything. If there is a spicy coming together, okay, that's Raftar. I thought that might have been.
and it's a spark car. It's not a retired car. Okay, we won't have any safety car shenanigans. So yet, but
yeah, but Abhi will take these medium tires all the way to the end. Run for the 2 stars.
And he's also taking very adventurous lines through that corner, and he's ramping up a move on Rambo. Will he dive it down the inside? Ooh, again! Oh, he's just not in it on the medium tires. He thinks he still has those he thinks he still has the softs on.
Yeah, exactly.
A man was on a mission on the softs, and he wants them back, it seems.
You could say on that occasion he bit off a bit more than he could chew. But tell you what, he's going to be on full push for these last 10 or so laps as it's really hotting up. Banat has Paras pitted? No, someone has pitted.
He hasn't, but crucially, he's outside the DRS of Freeman. It's on the on the edge there, but still, if
Tell you,
Bana, if
tell you
yeah,
what, but Paris has very inconveniently found himself in an Alpine sandwich. This is the one situation he would not want to be in, but he has eventually put himself in that scenario where he's now, even if he pushes, he has to contend with Freeman, and if he drops back, he has to contend with Bunnett. And tell you what, Bunnett might just line up the overtake here. If we go on board with him, we'll get an idea. 6 tenths back, DRS open, ERS available to him. He might be a bit far back, but he might have a chance down the pit straight.
yeah, and he's closing up even to this section where the dirty air runs absolutely rampant, and he's going to use all the curb on the left hand side to brake, use trail braking to rotate the car, and he's kept at that 5 tenths mark. But Paris is very close to Freeman, but he's not going to get DRS.
He's not. Crucially, he's not going to get DRS. And
Ooh, but
what?
but misses apex spike.
Oh,
quite
Paris!
quick.
Yeah. Bit of a moment coming out of the final corner. This will be the opportunity, the moment that he's been looking forward to all race. Will he get the move done on Paris down into turn one? Little bit too far back. He goes for the send of dreams. Oh, what a move by Bunnett!
Oh,
What a move! What a move by Bunnett down into turn one. Just saw the opportunity and took it. And how? What a
Wow.
move that was. Applause where it is deserved. What a send. And it was perfectly executed. Side by side with Paris, pushing him to the inside. Yellow flag coming shouldn't be much of an issue. I don't think it's not. And now Bunnett
I
is
hope
in.
it isn't, because wow, what a move. What a move that was.
Something tells me at this point Bunnett is not going to pit. I think he's going for that extreme one stop, and he's now possibly asking Freeman, can we swap positions? Can you hold off Paris for 7 laps? I need you to do me this favor. Be Checo Freeman, as someone very conveniently mentioned in the chat earlier. Will this be the salvation? But to be honest, can he potentially reel him in? Will P3 be enough for Paris to secure the championship? That's something we haven't.
I will do the math for that, but I also want to point out that Paris has already gone way out of the DRS detection
Yeah, he's
time.
lost
I
out quite a
think
bit.
he has damage. I suspect him having damage.
His front wing seems fine on camera.
We potentially see Meerkat initiate catch up to Paris and maybe try to mount an overtake. If that is the case, Paris will definitely be in with a chance of losing the championship. But okay, now. Oh!
That's a retirement on track by that Alfa Romeo driver of Shrey, and I don't know what that's gonna cause. But yeah, you guys can carry on from here.
That actually might help Bunnett if he gets a safety car right
That
now.
will be a
he may
godsend for the Alpine driver, yep.
They've not only will both of these guys switch positions if that is the case, but we might see Bunnett on the soft tire for these last couple of laps. And tell you what, he will have to defend like a lion if Paris also goes onto a fresh set of softs. Although I don't think that is the case. I think the car has the parked car has been cleared up since then. So we will continue racing as Bunnett is now within 6 tenths of Freeman. They'll try to get past each other without holding themselves up too much. As someone is opening Assetto Corsa on my Steam, what are you doing instead of watching this race right now, my It was Faizan. It was Faizan. You are right. Now, will Bunnett and Freeman switch positions now? If so, now will have to be the opportunity. Paris quite a bit back, and now it'll give them the opportunity to switch positions without losing too much time. Crucially, Freeman won't get on the ERS now. He'll just open up. He won't even have DRS. In fact, this will
you can see Bunnett's tires are absolutely short. It's here.
5 laps left, and Freeman defending the position. He's defending the Bunnett
No,
right back.
okay, I think I know what's going on here. He's giving Bunnett DRS so that the base drop off from his tires is like negated with the straight line advantage. Is what I'm assuming.
Factor, but I think Bunnett. Oh, Bunnett has lost it. Bunnett has lost it. Oh no! Paris moves up too, and those medium tires have fallen off well and truly. It seems like they are at the 70% mark, and he's on the verge of losing it again. Meerkat initiates, slips into the podium positions. This is disastrous this? Oh no! That is a real sledgehammer to all his hopes right now. That is the second mistake he's made all race, just when we thought there might
Uh,
be in off chance.
it's far too late to bid for the softs as well. Oh no, Banat. Now the
Oh,
only thing he can hope for is Freeman absolutely becoming a Giga Kubica and blocking the entire track for Paris and slowing him down. An absolute treat.
not ask Banat to ask more of Freeman. Don't ask him to block him or maybe take him out. Oh no, that would be some conspiracy level stuff going on as Aaron Gavin picks up a penalty. That's probably for track limits. As Banat is right on, Meerkat initiates diffuser right now. Meerkat no DRS, but he's on one lap newer mediums. But will Banat get the move down? Will he make P3?
He's out of ERS as well
Going out
because
of turn
Meerkat
one.
initiate.
Oh,
And
he's
Banat
gone.
is oh whoa wow.
Banat is
And
gone.
Meerkat had to take
Oh,
avoiding
Banat's
action.
gone
He's got
very
the
deep.
cut back line. Yeah.
And I think Meerkat will get DRS as well because he was behind Banat going into the detection zone. No, Banat gets DRS. Will he
Wow,
get
that
the
was a bit of a Verstappen lunge, if I might add. Meerkat had to back out of that.
I think Meerkat just moved aside saying, yes sir, you outplayed yourself. I'm fine. As there's a yellow flag, is it a potential? No, I
Nope,
think
it's another
PK19
spin
has
from
gone.
Raftar, yeah.
Nah, Star is low. I thought I saw a AlphaTauri and it was. Oh, this race has really been all kinds of topsy-turvy, argy-bargy, really coming down to the line. But I think far as this one
Lals is
again.
also having traction issues. Oh wow, as Aaron Gavin is sped up. Yeah, he's a lap on that. But yeah, it's what a race so far, and it's so unfortunate for it to have well, it's not ended yet. It's never ended. It's never over until it's over, as you mentioned. But yeah,
Exactly. Meerkat Initiate will probably have to concede the position here as Banat trying
tell you
every.
what, Bharat could be in danger of a puncture here. I mean, I can't tell what the percentage of tire wear is. It's 75 when the orangey factor comes into play, but from the looks of it, it might be nearing the 65 limit mark.
Move up into P3, but in terms of points, he is still about 6 or 7 points behind Paras. I'd say this is going to be very unfortunate for Banat. He had a couple of bad races at the beginning of the season. Will it come back to bite him again? He's made a couple of mistakes this race as well. But tell you what, though, for a person that picked up F1 just a couple of months ago, has got into sim racing
Oh,
just a
we have
couple.
a yellow flag in sector 3, and I think it's Lals who's coming to the pits and retiring, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, indeed. I think that's a good choice from him not to retire out on track. Won't bring up the say. Or maybe he could retire out on track and bring up the say.
Just to spice it up a bit.
Just to spice it up a bit.
But I don't think we would have finished on the safety car unless someone would have let something happen.
Now
But
is
yeah,
not the time to crash, boys. Or maybe now is the time to crash, boys. Nah, but I was just saying that Banath has done a magnificent job of making this championship battle interesting, and he's done more than just make it interesting. He's been up there genuinely for
yeah,
a
and
lot.
it's his first league season as well,
Yep.
and he's already contending for the championship, and that in itself is just a huge thing. But so is Paras, if I'm not wrong. It's his first league as well. I'm not sure about that, and he is on a 4, for God's sake.
And Monk's gone down the inside. Tell you what though, Monk slowly dropping back little by little as Aaron Gavin spins again.
And Rafta has another spin.
Oh, I think he's on keyboard, judging by his input.
Yeah.
Very
And
jaggy.
so has Lals.
Man, these guys are having a spinning competition. He's on brand new softs and he's spun. Well, it is a bit squeaky bum time. Last 2 laps of racing now. Will we see the bottle of dreams from Paras? Probably not, hopefully not. Will we see the comeback of dreams from Banat? He's 5 seconds off, but I mean, never say never. If Paras really makes a massive mistake, then it's anything's possible.
I tell you what, if I were Freeman, I would actually be trying to back up Paras into Banat here. But it seems Freeman has other ideas. He wants to go for the win, and yeah, it seems he's not slowing down.
I think what though, it may not be a championship in the Drivers' Championship for Banat, but it might end up being a Constructors' Championship for Alpine, as officially both the McLarens are quite far down, and also one of the Aston Martins is quite far down, but Paris is the only one really fighting for serious points right now. So Alpine may see themselves coming first or second in the Constructors' Championship, something to take away from this race.
Yeah, that's interesting and pretty congratulations to them if it finishes like this. They're probably, in my opinion, the best duo on the grid. We've seen teamwork from both of them on throughout the entire season, and especially on this race. And the second stint was backing Freeman was backing Paris up, but on other things here, it seems BK and Meerkat are having a bit of a tussle. And
That's pretty clean
yeah.
racing of them. Very, very
and now
respectable.
BK's got the cutback line on those, wow, relatively fresh softs, and the fact that Meerkat Initiate is even challenging there is pretty impressive, and BK has got that done. Another P4 for BK, or a top 6 finish if I'm not wrong. Even last race he got a top 5 finish, but so yeah, he's on good form.
Yep, indeed.
If I may point out, oh, we have a retirement, but that's too late.
Retirement, it might be a little
Yeah,
too
it's
late for anything
late.
to happen.
But I wanted to point out that Banath is caught up within 3.5 seconds to Paras, and I dare not say it, but Paras is a clean driver. He usually never gets penalties, but a 3-second penalty if it's close could cost him a lot now.
But I think even then it's not enough for the championship, because Bharat needs more than 8 points
How
to
many
get the lead.
points do you get for P3 in an F1 race? I think you get
15.
15, and you
right?
get 18 for P2.
Yeah, that might not be enough for Banath to clinch,
He'll be 5 points behind, yeah.
but it will be enough for him to clinch P2 in the title. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess we can. If that might be the best of the rest award for Banath right now as it stands. But we could. Freeman is, I think, starting to drop back a little bit. I dare say
It's
he's
far too late though, isn't it?
It's far too late, but a part of me thinks that it is on the last lap, so I think it is late, as you said. But part of me thinks he just slams on the brakes.
Even if Freeman finishes in P2 or 3,
I
the
would,
Alpine will still clinch the driver WCC. So
yeah.
I don't see why not if he
I,
can.
th- I
If he
think, I
wants.
think SSJ, if we can just go on board Banath once again, I
Oh,
just point
Beavis
out.
spun car.
It's
Oh,
Freeman.
it's Freeman!
Oh, it's Freeman.
PK will slip into P4. Freeman's out.
P3.
Paris has slipped into P1. Oh, dearie me.
Oh wow, that's the well. From what we've seen tonight, that's the last Alpine I would expect for a spin, considering how short Punnet's tires are as well. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know what's happened there. I think even Freeman's tires are dying. You can see the
Unfortunate.
front left is
Yeah,
very
but
worn.
I wanted to go on board Banath just to show those red tires that he got on. Those tires, he's pretty much running on the rim right now.
He is trundling through that third sector. You can see from the throttle inputs, he's absolutely like careful and cautious. But it's all said and done. It's the Aston Martin as he rounds the final corner, doing the celebratory weave as he should, and he's won the drivers' championship.
What a race. This has been the ultimate spectacle, exactly what we could have hoped for. Paris comes across the line in P1 and clinches P1 in the championship after what seemed to be a topsy-turvy race for him. Dropped back a bit, came further up a bit, but yeah, I mean, I think Banath and the little bit of inconsistencies that he's had throughout the race basically gifted the drive championship to
Oh, as
as Rambo ending the season in style. That was all.
Rambo, that's not the track, mate.
Yeah, I was almost thinking of that as Lando spun a couple of years ago after the F2 season had finished. He just spun on the pit straight after the race had finished. This man is clearly spun even before coming across the finishing line.
Team Monk is gone to do the fastest lap. Will he get it? No, I don't think he does. And Electric is also doing a weave.
Electric will come across the line.
And he didn't service
Coming
top either.
across the line.
And Solo finishes where he started, down in P10. And that's the race for tonight, folks. Wow.
What a championship. And I think also that because of Freeman's unfortunate last lap spin, Aston Martin have clinched the constructors championship as well.
Oh wow,
As someone in the as the IRC official account has just posted in the chat, I think Aston Martin has clinched the double.
that's wow, that's brilliant.
That is genuinely one of the best races I've seen this season. The final standings as they finish: Paras comes across the line, started P1, dropped back briefly but finished P1 in the end. Banat, after a valiant drive, finishes P2. BK19, a surprise entrant onto the podium, never really a contender for it but finds himself there anyway. A brilliant result for him. Freeman, unfortunate to spin on the last lap, finishes in P4, unfortunately losing Alpine, the Constructors' Championship. Mirka Initiate in P5, Abhi in P6 after giving us some of the overtakes of the race. Rambo in P7, Monk in P8, Aaron Gavin P9, Solo unfortunate to not do well this race, finishes in P10, Electrip in P11, Mountain Wolf P12, Tarang P13, Raftar P14, Lals, Shrey and Jags round off the rest of the grid. And I believe we do have two podium, well, two of three podium finishers right here in the VC. So I think we can go ahead and get the podium interview started. I think we will save the best for last. So I think we will start off with Banat then. Unfortunate, mate, but what a season it has been for you. What was your thoughts on that race?
Oh man, I mean we got that strategy almost perfect. So like we basically planned that after my spin I would undercut and Freeman would overcut, and it worked out perfectly. But just that stupid spin at the end, I mean, just happens. I was telling somebody had come into our VC just before the race, and I'd said that I haven't done a single race in Bahrain without two spins, and I got my two spins for the day. So, but listen, congrats to Paras with, I mean, with the technology he's using to drive to win this tournament is fabulous. And also shout out to Freeman, who has been amazing as a teammate. Unfortunately, he missed two races in the middle, otherwise we would have got the constructors. But yeah, mad props to him.
Yep, what a conclusion to the season for you in your first season league racing as well. You've done valiantly, my friend. Brilliant job this season, and you really put on a show for us. Unfortunate with the spins today, but you almost made the outside strategy pay off. Definitely, we were not betting on you to make it to the end on those medium tires, but you almost proved us wrong.
Well, I got
Anyway,
to the end, but yeah.
you did.
Was
The
there
credit
was there any like doubt that you were ever going to go to the soft tires, because you had that fresh set, right?
Yeah, I did, but I had only saved that fresh set in case there would be a safety car, because I had actually tested this out in another, like in a practice race, we're pitting lap 7 and the mediums sort of went till the end. And they actually lasted fairly well, so if anyone from Tier 1 wants tips for tomorrow, I did my personal best on the second last lap, so it was totally fine.
Yeah, that's a great drive from you, man. Congrats. It's been a tough season, but on your first season of league racing, I think it's brilliant that what you've done. So
Thank you,
congrats.
man. And just before I hand over and you guys talk to Paras, just want to give mad props to all of you guys. You've done a brilliant job organizing this, and I mean, you've just added that excitement. I had nothing to do with sim racing, no wheel, nothing 6 months ago, and now it's just like a part of my life thanks to you guys. So, kudos. Thank you so much.
It is
Yep.
the drivers at the end of the day that make league racing so exciting. So thank you to the drivers as well who have participated. But let us now talk to the man of the hour. Paras, you are IRC Season 7 Tier 2 champion. How does it feel to stand not only on the top step of this race, but also on the top step of this championship?
Yes, I'm like very happy because it's never, this is my first league, so never ever like was in a league before, so it feels good. And it was, I mean, for this race, I expected to have a, more better battle with Solo and Banat, but then they got unlucky. Uh, you know, uh, I was not fighting anyone in this race. I was just letting them go because I just wanted to keep it clean and take it to the finish line. And once Banat overtook me, then I realized that both the Alpines were in front of me. It would have not gone my way, but Banat got unlucky. He spun, and even Freeman, he spun on the last lap. He deserved that win, I think, today. He drove very well. But yeah, it feels good to be champion and also bring constructors to Aston Martin.
Yep, congratulations, mad props to you guys. Aston Martin has, as you just said, clinched the Constructors' Championship as well, although it was very close all the way until the end. Had they picked up a double podium, it wouldn't have been within your grasp. Yep. So, congratulations to Paras, our Drivers' Championship in Tier 2. Congratulations to Aston Martin, our Constructors' Championship in Tier 2. Both of them clinched on the last race, on the last lap. You cannot write this. You really cannot write this. And thanks once again to all the guys in the commentary box who's joined me for this race. Moto, Harry.
Yeah, and well, we have P2 constructors, P1 constructors for the Aston Martin. So let's, since we've already had a word with Paras, let's have a word with the other driver, that's Monk, who is the silent killer as always. Hi, Monk, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Well, how was that race for you? Because there was a lot of good amount of battling I saw with some of the drivers, some switchback lines, and all of that. So talk us through your race.
Yeah, so I started my race from the back, so I thought of going the alternate strategy. But at one point of time, I was stuck behind Jags, so he was driving quite rashly, and I had a moment with him. Then he retired, so we need to look back into that moment. But other than that, it was quite like good race. Yeah, good to finish P8.
Yeah, congrats, man. We've seen you be very consistent and have a cool head, and that's what's ended up giving you guys the title. So, congrats on a great season.
Well, with that, let's also talk to our P3 driver BK, who's just joined us. Hi BK, how was that race for you? And an unexpected podium, I must say, but brilliant race throughout. You were right on it, making the right moves at the right places.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, but you're less audible. Your background's more audible. You're a bit quiet.
Yeah, anyways. So I will talk less. So yeah, it was a good race. I was actually want to snatch that second position. One more lap and I might have done that. But anyway, good race. I know I have to make a 2 stop because of the strategy in the startup. And it was, yes, really. Heads off to the Banat and the first guy. They snatched the tire. I mean, that's quite amazing. I, I mean, it's quite good race for me. At the last lap, I think the car ahead spun, and that is the reason why I get third place. I thought it was Banat first of all, but then I saw background it is a Freeman, I guess, because of the tire wear, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Freeman, and yeah, I think he just made a mistake. He wasn't it wasn't the tire wear mostly. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
still congrats on the great drive. It was still your drive, after all. So congrats.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, with that, let me just sign off this stream. It was a brilliant season for the Tier 2 grid, and they did really well to put us on the edge of our seats. All of us commentators and streamers who've been on the Tier 2 stream since the beginning for these 10 races. It was absolutely a thriller, and let's not forget, very close. And the Tier 2 grid always never surprises us. So. Do join our community. We are IRC, Indian Racing Community. We have been on this mission to get as many motorsport fans and sim racing fans and enthusiasts onto the same platform so that we can socialize, expand our knowledge, race against each other, wheel to wheel, and go at it corner after corner if you're racing together, obviously. On multiple games, starting from Formula One, from the official Formula One games to ACC, Assetto Corsa Competizione, and AC as well. We also do a little bit of dirt rallying, which is obviously very much fun if you like to send it sideways through some of the hill sections in those rally cars. And let's not forget that this is not the only season finale for this weekend. We also have Tier 2020 coming next, that is tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. if I'm not wrong. And we also have the Tier 1 finale, which is at 8 p.m. And if you are interested to join our community, which we saw a lot of interest in the chat today, it's as simple as this. Join the Discord server. We have the link in our description for this very live stream. After you join us, it's very simple. You just have to go onto the hashtag information channel, and it's easily listed out there how you can sign up and drive with us and go wheel to wheel, like I was mentioning, for racing the same way you saw as on the stream today. So with that, I think you know a lot about our community over this season and over this particular race. And with that, I think we should sign this off. This is me, Harry, Eitzel, and Moto, who did a brilliant comms today. Thank you to both of them. And our amazing streamer, Dan SSG Assassin. Thank you, Dan. And thank you, Eitzel and Moto. And the whole IRC team who've been on this season, giving us all of these streams and all of these visuals that you see throughout, the excellent telemetry that we see as well. So with that, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Good night.